chosen. What I'm about to share with you may shock you, but if you're here watching this video or reading these words, it's not by accident. This is a divine moment. God is trying to warn you because something massive is about to unfold, and your spirit already knows this is for you. God said, "Don't buy anything for the next 18 months. Yes, you heard that right. And no, this is not just financial advice. It's a spiritual command the world is about to go through, a shaking. But you're not here to be afraid. You're here to be alert. You're here because God wants to protect you, guide you, and position you not just to survive, but to thrive. Once the storm passes, this season is sacred. God is calling his people, especially you, to step back from spending, investing and giving away energy carelessly. Why? Because this 18-month period is a test, a spiritual reset, a time to preserve, to recharge, and to align with heaven's plan. What you do in this season will shape what God releases to you in the next. You're shifting now, not just mentally, but spiritually and energetically, from confusion to clarity, from survival to divine strategy, from wanting to having. Before we dive into this life-changing message, take a moment to pause this video and do 3 things. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 70,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 99. And remember, if you are truly chosen, your spirit will recognize this truth. You won't want to skip this, because deep down, you know God is speaking. Now, let's go deeper. What's coming will shake the world, but you don't have to be shaken if you listen. Now, this is not just a warning. It's a divine instruction directly from God speaking to his chosen ones. For the next 18 months, you are being called to a period of pause, a time to restrain from spending. The reasons behind this are much deeper than the surface. It's not just about saving money, it's about protecting your spiritual energy, aligning yourself with God's will, and preparing for what's ahead. The world is on the brink of major shaking economies. Our crumbling powers are shifting, and spiritual attacks are intensifying in this turbulent time. God's instructions are your safeguard. This period isn't just about financial preservation. It's about spiritual survival. By obeying his voice, you align yourself with his divine plan, preparing for blessings that can only come through this season of obedience. You may feel uncertain or frustrated at the thought of not spending or buying during such a long period. But trust, this God's guidance is always for your highest good. His plan is perfect, and though it might seem difficult or confusing at the moment, this divine pause is the key to your breakthrough. Stay faithful, stay patient, and trust that God is guiding you through this critical time. This is a prophetic word meant specifically for you. It's not a coincidence that you've come across this message. God wants to protect you from the impending storm that's shaking the world. The world's systems are crumbling, economies are faltering, and the world powers are on the brink of collapse. The warning is clear. If you are not prepared, the effects will reach even those who consider themselves secure. The world is moving towards an economic recession like never before. A period of financial chaos is on the horizon. In this season, those who fail to heed God's instructions may find themselves swept away by the tides of instability. But if you stay grounded in his word, you will be safe, shielded from the financial collapse that is coming. God's message is not just about economic survival, it's about spiritual protection. The shaking of the earth systems is a reflection of a greater spiritual battle. Through this divine instruction, God is equipping you to stand firm, to weather the storm with spiritual strength and wisdom. The coming upheaval is not something to fear if you are aligned with God's guidance. The essence of this message goes far beyond money. Yes, there is a need to preserve your finances, But the true heart of this warning is to protect your spiritual energy in this world. We often become distracted by the material, the temporary, the fleeting comforts that the world offers. But God is calling you to focus on what truly matters. Your spiritual well-being during this 18-month period. Distractions will come in many forms. People desires opportunities that seem tempting, but are spiritually draining. The enemy knows that if he can divert your attention away from God's purpose for you, he can steal your strength. But God is calling you to isolate yourself, to preserve your energy, and to stay focused on what he has called you to. It's important to remember that every person you engage with, every place you invest your time and energy, either builds you up or depletes you. God wants you to protect your spiritual resources. Like never before, you are entering a season where every wrong move could cost you, not just financially, but spiritually as well. Stay connected to God, stay in prayer, and don't let anything or anyone rob you of your peace. You may have noticed that some relationships drain you more than others. People who gossip, complain, or bring negativity into your life are not just distractions. They are energy drains. God is warning you. Now stay away from people who feed your spirit with doubt, fear, and negativity in this critical season. Every ounce of your spiritual energy is precious. Think about it. Every conversation, every interaction, and every relationship is either a deposit or a withdrawal from your spiritual bank. Negative people will only withdraw from you, leaving you empty and vulnerable. God is calling you to let go of toxic relationships that deplete your energy, and instead nurture relationships that build you up and draw you closer to His will. You might feel the pressure to maintain certain relationships, especially with family or friends. But remember this, your spiritual well-being comes first in this season of isolation and preservation. God is protecting you from people who would pull you away from His purpose. This is your time to focus on what truly matters, and that starts with guarding your heart and energy. This is not the time to make hasty financial decisions. God is urging you to hold on to what He has given you. The world around you may seem like it's full of opportunities, but you must trust in God's timing. The investments and purchases you make now could lead to greater loss later. It's not about hoarding wealth, it's about obedience to God's instructions. The temptation to invest in things that promise quick returns may be strong, but the financial landscape is shifting, and those who make the wrong moves will be exposed to greater loss. God has called you to preserve your resources, not just for your financial future, but for the divine breakthroughs that will come in due time. If you trust God's wisdom, He will direct your path and provide for you. In this season, you are being prepared for greater wealth, not just materially, but spiritually as well. By not succumbing to the pressure of the world's ways, you position yourself to receive the abundance that God has in store for you. Stay faithful, stay obedient, and preserve what God has entrusted to you. He will reward your faithfulness in ways you cannot yet imagine. Isolation may feel like a punishment, but it's not. It's preparation. God is preparing you for something far greater than you could ever imagine. This season of waiting, this season of obedience is essential for the breakthrough that lies ahead. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Your faith is being tested in ways that will equip you for the destiny God has planned for you. Consider how a tree grows. Its roots are strengthened in the quiet darkness of the earth before it can break through to the light. Similarly, you are being rooted in faith, in trust, in obedience, so that when the time comes, you will rise strong, unshakable, and ready to bear fruit. Your faithfulness in this time of isolation will determine the strength you carry into the next season of your life. though it may seem like you're being held back. Know this: God is positioning you for something bigger. Don't resist this process. Embrace the stillness, the solitude, and the discipline it takes to follow God's instructions. He is molding you, refining you, and preparing you for the blessings that await. The world will try to lull you into a false sense of security. Comfort can be seductive. Opportunities will arise that seem harmless, even beneficial, but God's voice is calling you to stay aligned with His will. Not your comfort zone. Do not be deceived by the fleeting pleasures of this world. What God has for you is far greater, but it requires discipline and focus. It's easy to get distracted by immediate rewards. The world offers instant gratification, but God offers eternal fulfillment by staying aligned with His instructions. You're setting yourself up for a future that transcends anything the world can offer. Comfort is temporary. God's blessings are eternal. Remember, the road less traveled is the one that leads to true success and fulfillment. The enemy will do everything in his power to distract you to make the world seem more appealing than God's plan. But God's way is always the best way, even when it feels like a sacrifice. Trust Him, He will never lead you astray. This season is a test, and it will reveal who truly listens to God. The noise of the world is loud, and it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle, but those who are truly aligned with God will be set apart. Your obedience in this time of testing will distinguish you from the rest. It's easy to follow God when everything is going well, but real faith is demonstrated when you follow His instructions. Even in uncertainty, this period of obedience will prove your trust in God. Your willingness to listen and follow His voice will result in a blessing that will not only change your life, but will be a testimony to others. Those who mock and ridicule your obedience now will one day see the fruit of your faithfulness. They will witness your rise, your transformation, and the blessings that come from walking closely with God. Obedience to God may not always make sense in the natural, but it always brings supernatural results. If you choose to follow God's instructions, you are positioning yourself for breakthroughs that you have never experienced before. This 18-month period is not just about avoiding mistakes. It's about preparing you for a future of financial success that will come in God's perfect timing. Imagine the breakthroughs that await you. After this period of obedience, your financial landscape will change dramatically, and you will find doors opening where there seem to be none. But this is not just about money, it's about trusting God's wisdom over your own. When you follow His guidance, He will multiply what you have and provide more than you could ever imagine trusting God with your finances. During this time of uncertainty, will lay the foundation for long-term prosperity. His way is the best way, and when you obey, His provision will flow abundantly into your life. The financial breakthrough you've been praying for is coming, but only through faith, patience, and unwavering obedience. One of the most powerful aspects of this 18-month period is that God is using this time to cleanse your life. Negative energies, harmful relationships, and toxic environments that may have been draining your spirit are being removed so that there's more room for His blessings to flow into your life. Have you ever tried to fill a cup that was already full? It's impossible. In the same way, God needs to clear out the spiritual clutter in your life so that He can fill you with His abundance. This time of isolation may feel uncomfortable, but trust that it's necessary for the spiritual cleansing that is taking place. He's removing the old to make way for the new. The process of spiritual purification can be painful, but the results are always worth it. God is refining you in this season, making you stronger and more spiritually aligned than ever before. Once the negative influences are gone, you will feel lighter, freer, and ready to receive the blessings God has in store for you. This season of testing is not your end. It is the beginning of something much greater. After the 18-month period of obedience and preservation, you will emerge stronger, wealthier, and more spiritually aligned than you have ever been. God's promises are true, and He will not fail you. The trials of this season are only preparing you for the success that is coming. Just as a seed must endure the darkness and pressure of the earth to sprout and grow, you too will rise stronger after this season. The struggles you face today will build your character and strengthen your faith. You will look back and realize that every moment of isolation, every sacrifice was worth it because it positioned you for divine elevation. Your spiritual alignment will bring clarity, peace, and confidence. You will no longer be swayed by the distractions of the world. Instead, you will be a beacon of light to others, showing them what it looks like to trust in God's timing and guidance. After this season, you will walk in victory and nothing will stand in your way. It's inevitable that some will mock you during this season. They may question your decisions, ridicule your faith, or dismiss your choices as foolish. But know this, their mockery will not last forever. The same people who doubt you today will one day watch you rise to heights they never thought possible. But you must endure the process first. Don't let the negativity of others deter you. God is using this time to refine you and prove that He is faithful. The people who mock your faith will be the very ones who witness your success in the future. They will see how your obedience to God has led you to blessings they never could have imagined. Keep your eyes on the prize and trust that God will elevate you. In due time, the process may be difficult, but it is necessary. Every mocker will eventually see the hand of God upon your life. And when that happens, they will know that it was God who brought you through, not your own strength or wisdom. The world's systems are crumbling. The powers that once seemed invincible are beginning to fall, and there is great uncertainty ahead. But fear not. God is your protector. While the world is shaken, you will stand firm because you are aligned with His will. God has promised to protect you through this storm, and He will not fail as the economy falters and worldly powers crumble. Many will panic, but because you are following God's instructions, you are positioned to weather this storm with peace and security. This is not just about material wealth. It's about the spiritual protection that comes from being under God's guidance. His shield will surround you in the chaos. God's protection is a divine safeguard that will keep you from the destruction that is coming. Those who have placed their trust in worldly powers will face the consequences of their choices. But you, chosen one, are under the covering of the Almighty. Your trust in God's guidance will keep you safe and secure through whatever may come. This warning is not something to take lightly. It is part of God's divine plan for your life, designed to protect, guide, and prepare you for the future. This is not a time to ignore His voice or question His instructions. God is speaking to you because He loves you and wants the very best for you. He has seen what lies ahead, and He is warning you to take action. Now, the world's systems are unpredictable, but God's plan for you is secure by obeying His guidance. You are positioning yourself for success in a way that the world cannot understand. His plan is perfect, and while the path may seem difficult, it leads to a future filled with prosperity, peace, and divine favor. Don't let this warning pass you by. Take it to heart and follow God's lead. Ignoring God's instructions during this time could cost you more than you realize. The future He has prepared for you is bright, but only if you trust Him. Now, don't allow fear, doubt, or impatience to distract you from His perfect plan. His purpose for your life is far greater than anything you could imagine. and following his instructions is the key to unlocking it. Obedience is the key that unlocks the doors of destiny. When you follow God's instructions, you are not just preserving your finances or spiritual energy, you are shaping your future. Each step of obedience takes you closer to the fulfillment of God's plan for your life. His instructions may not always make sense in the natural, but they are always leading you to greater things. The power of obedience is transformative. It takes you from a place of uncertainty to a place of divine clarity. By obeying God's voice, you are allowing Him to shape your character, strengthen your faith, and position you for the blessings that are about to pour into your life. Trust that God's plan for you is far better than anything you could plan for yourself. Remember, the road to your breakthrough is paved with obedience. The path may be difficult, but the rewards are eternal. Stay faithful, stay obedient, and watch as God shapes in the midst of chaos, when the world feels uncertain and unstable. God is your unwavering shelter. His protection is a refuge that shields you from the storms that may rage around you as the world faces economic instability, spiritual darkness, and personal struggles. You are called to find peace and safety in Him. His arms are wide open, ready to protect and guide you through the toughest times. Preparation isn't just about material resources. It's about aligning yourself with God's will. When you follow His instructions, you position yourself to receive His divine protection. This shelter is not just physical, but deeply spiritual. It's about cultivating a strong, intimate relationship with God so that His presence surrounds you in every moment of fear, anxiety, and doubt. One of the most crucial steps in preparing for the crisis ahead is trusting in God's timing. Don't rush into decisions based on worldly pressures. Instead, take time to listen to God's voice and stay aligned with His guidance. By doing so, you allow Him to provide for your needs, protect you from harm, and lead you toward the breakthrough. He has promised, remember, God's shelter is not just about survival. He intends for you to thrive. You are not meant to merely weather the storm, but to emerge stronger, wiser, and more spiritually attuned. When you fully embrace God as your shelter, you tap into a wellspring of peace, confidence, and divine strength that the world cannot take away. Sacrifice and patience are not just actions. They are deep spiritual practices that align your heart with God's will. When you choose to sacrifice your own desires for the sake of His plan, you step into a higher level of spiritual maturity. Patience, while often misunderstood, is one of the most powerful virtues God cultivates within you. During times of waiting, the act of waiting patiently is not passive. It's an active choice to trust in God's timing. In this process, your faith is strengthened. Patience teaches you to surrender control and place your trust fully in God's perfect plan. It's in this surrender that God refines your character, molding you into the person He has always intended you to be. Sacrifice, on the other hand, is not about deprivation, it's about spiritual growth. When you sacrifice your time, resources, or energy for God's purpose, you create space for His blessing. God honors sacrifice, and through it, He rewards you with deeper revelations, greater peace, and spiritual fulfillment. The more you give, the more God fills you with His presence. Both sacrifice and patience teach you to rely on God, not on your own understanding. They prepare your heart for what lies ahead, while the world may urge instant gratification. God calls you to a higher way. Through these virtues, He equips you to handle life's challenges with grace and prepares you for the divine breakthroughs that await. The signs are all around us: an impending economic collapse, financial uncertainty, and shifts in global powers. Yet in the midst of this chaos, God's message to you is clear. You are not meant to merely survive these challenges, but to thrive through them. While the world may be facing hardship, you are positioned to rise above it all. How can you thrive when the economy is crumbling? The answer lies in your relationship with God. Your prosperity is not tied to the world's systems, but to His divine provision in the coming days. Those who trust in God will experience blessings that go beyond material wealth. Thriving in God's eyes isn't just about financial success. It's about spiritual growth, peace, and divine favor. God has promised that He will provide for His children, regardless of what happens in the world. His resources are limitless, and He knows how to open doors. Even when it seems impossible, trust in His provision, and He will lead you to opportunities and blessings that others may miss. Your success will be a testimony to His faithfulness in this time of uncertainty. Remember that you are part of a divine plan that will not fail, while others may struggle. You will walk in peace, confidence, and abundance. Your faith in God's ability to provide will open doors of opportunity that will set you apart as a shining example of His power and provision in a world obsessed with accumulating material wealth. It's easy to forget the true value of your spiritual energy. Money can come and go, but your spiritual energy is the foundation of your well-being. It's what empowers you to navigate life's challenges with grace, resilience, and faith. Protecting and guarding your spiritual energy is essential to living a life aligned with God's purpose. Every person you interact with, every environment you enter, and every decision you make either fuels or depletes your spiritual energy. Negative influences, toxic relationships, and distractions drain your vitality, leaving you vulnerable to the attacks of the enemy. Guard your heart, your mind, and your spirit with wisdom, so that you can preserve your energy for the work God has called you to do. God has equipped you with a unique spiritual power that flows from your connection with Him. When you stay close to Him in prayer, worship, and His word, you protect your energy and keep it flowing freely. This spiritual vitality empowers you to rise above challenges, inspire others, and walk confidently in your purpose. In this season, be intentional about where you invest your time and energy. Stay connected to God and avoid the distractions that seek to steal your peace. When you guard your spiritual energy, you protect the most valuable resource you have. And in doing so, you position yourself for divine success and fulfillment in the fast-paced world we live in. Distractions are everywhere. Social media, work relationships, and personal desires can pull you away from the stillness and focus that God desires for you. But now is the time to disconnect from these distractions and redirect your energy to God. This period of isolation and focus is not punishment. It's preparation. When you disconnect from the noise of the world, you create space for God to speak clearly to your heart. It's in the quiet moments that you hear His voice. The loudest, your relationship with God will deepen when you prioritize Him above all else. This season of focus will build a strong foundation for the next chapter of your life, one where you can hear and follow His guidance with clarity and confidence. Distractions pull you away from God's purpose, leading you down paths that only deplete your energy and faith. Now is the time to set boundaries, protect your peace, and eliminate the things that keep you from staying in tune with God's will. Use this season wisely to realign your life with His plan. Disconnecting doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities or relationships. It means finding a healthy balance where God comes first. It's about setting aside time each day to seek Him, to listen, and to grow in your faith. When you focus on God, everything else falls into place. God's strategy for your financial breakthrough may seem counterintuitive. Wait and watch in a world where we are constantly urged to hustle, chase, and achieve. God's approach is different. He calls you to trust in His timing, rest in His provision, and watch as He opens doors that no one can shut. Waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. It means positioning yourself in faith. It means trusting that God knows what is best for you and will provide at the right time. Your financial breakthrough will come when you align yourself with God's plan and trust that He is orchestrating every step for your benefit. God's timing is always perfect, and while you may feel impatient or uncertain, He is working behind the scenes on your behalf. This season of waiting is not wasted time. It's a time of preparation where God is building your character, strengthening your faith, and aligning you with the opportunities that are meant for you when the time is right. God will lead you to the breakthrough you've been waiting for. But until then, trust in His strategy. Wait and watch. The blessings that are coming are worth the wait. And when they arrive, you will be ready to receive them with open arms and a heart full of gratitude. The 18-month period you are entering is a test of faith, obedience, and perseverance. It may feel like a long, uncertain journey, but know this: you are not alone. God is with you every step of the way, and He has equipped you with everything you need to navigate this time and emerge victorious. The key to passing this test is staying aligned with God's instructions. Every decision you make, every step you take should be guided by His wisdom. This is not a time to rely on your own understanding or to make hasty choices. Instead, seek God's direction, trust in His timing, and be obedient to what He reveals to you. As you walk through this test, remember that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. God's grace is sufficient, and He will help you every time you stumble. Keep your eyes fixed on Him. Stay faithful and know that He is using this time to prepare you for something far greater than you can imagine. The victory will come, but it will come through patience, trust, and obedience. At the end of this 18-month period, you will look back and see how far you've come, and you will realize that everything you endured was part of God's perfect plan to shape you into the person He created you to be. The silence of isolation may feel deafening, but it is in this silence that God speaks the loudest. This season of waiting, of being set apart, is not a time of stagnation, but a time of preparation. Trusting God in the silence is a powerful act of faith, and through this period, He will propel you toward the success He has prepared for you. Isolation is not the same as loneliness. God is not abandoning you. He is drawing you closer. This time apart is essential for deepening your relationship with Him in the stillness. He will teach you, refine you, and equip you for the future. Trust that He is at work, even when you can't see the full picture in this season of silence. You will discover that God's presence is enough. It's not about external validation or noise. It's about hearing His voice clearly and following His lead. When you trust Him in the quiet moments, He will guide you towards success and blessing that surpasses anything you could have achieved on your own. The silence will soon break, and when it does, you will be ready to step into the success God has been preparing for you. Trust the process, trust His timing, and embrace the silence. It is leading you to a place of victory, peace, and divine fulfillment. It's easy to become consumed by the struggles of today, the challenges, the uncertainties, the financial difficulties, but God sees the bigger picture, and He has a divine vision for your future that transcends your current circumstances. The trials you face today are part of His greater plan, and if you trust Him, He will lead you to a future that is more abundant than you can imagine. The key to navigating through tough times is to hold on to God's vision for your life. While the world may be telling you that your situation is hopeless, God's vision sees your potential, Your purpose and your divine destiny, His perspective is eternal, and when you align yourself with His plan, you will find peace in knowing that everything is working together for your good. God's vision for your life may not always align with your immediate desires, but it is always aligned with His greater purpose, while you may not see it. Now trust that He is positioning you for something greater. The challenges you are facing are shaping you into the person you need to be to fulfill that vision. Trust in the process and allow Him to guide you toward your future as you move forward. Keep your eyes fixed on God's promises. His vision will carry you through the darkest times and will propel you into a future full of hope, purpose, and fulfillment. You are not walking through this season alone,